Hi, welcome back to Takacs McGinnis Elder Care Hour News. We're talking about aging and its impact on those getting older, their families, and the community at large. I'm your host, Tim Takacs.
And I'm his co-host, Barbara McGinnis. We've talked a lot about aging in general, and Dr. Powers is with us again for our next segment. And we've mentioned some slides. Those slides are all going to be available on our website. So we're going to have the link later for you to see those slides for yourself. Dr. Powers, do you want to talk some more about those slides? I think the demographic slide.
Yes, it turns out that we are really seeing many more people live out close to the maximum human lifespan, which is somewhere around age 80 to 120. And we're finding that there are hundreds of thousands of individuals in the United States actually reaching the age 100. By the year 2050, we expect to have over 800,000 individuals in the United States over the age of 100. We have never had that in world history. Never before has that been the case. We find also that the personal choices that we make as we age can influence how independent we are. It is true, as we get older, that we suffer life's insults. We have a decrease in physiologic organ reserve as part of normal aging. But on top of that, there are disease entities which occur. And by making personal choices, such as improved diet, exercise, we can actually modify the impact of disease and extend the independence throughout the lifespan.
And so that's the slide that we're looking at here, the second slide. Yes. Can you kind of explain that a little bit for our viewers?
We find that in early life, our independence increases. This is a normal part of human development, and somewhere around early adulthood, we stop improving, and unfortunately, yes, we start to decline slowly. Studies such as the Baltimore Longitudinal Study on Aging, which has been going on since World War II days, tell us that at about age 30, we start to slowly decline. Yes, many of us are born with much capacity, much excess capacity in our kidney function, our lung function, our heart function, and that's a good thing. But physiologically, we slowly decline. But that decline can be offset by personal choices. And I'd like to show that as we get older, that difference becomes greater. So it's never too late to start improving your lifestyle, improving your health choices.
So at 30 years old, we start to decline?
Actually, yes, that is true.
Are we seeing perhaps, is that pushing out maybe to later ages, or is that kind of like what all of us can expect?
Well, it is true that the decline starts then, but I think actually we're finding that because of good health practices, better knowledge about how to prevent the onset of illnesses, better treatment, that people are living longer and more healthy lives, and that is very true.
Any particular health obstacles for folks in Tennessee?
Yes, if I could go to the next slide, there are a number of health challenges. Tennesseans can also expect to live longer, but will they live in good health and without disability? Well, that remains to be seen. Tennessee's Big Four, these are the 4 conditions that the health department has identified, are obesity, tobacco use, physical inactivity, and substance abuse. So if we can curb these, we can actually improve the health of all Tennesseans. But those are the big 4 factors that the Tennessee Department of Health has identified to focus on.
Well, obviously there's a lot of overlap there, you know, obesity with the inactivity. Tips, what do you tell your older people that you're taking care of, especially if they're already coming to you with arthritis and maybe a little overweight to get started? Sure.
We find that individuals who develop a healthy lifestyle choice of prudent diet and exercise often will do the right things for many different organ systems. You are right, there's a lot of overlap here. For individuals who are, say, less than about age 75, it may be important to lose weight. We know that 2/3 of Tennesseans are overweight, so there may be some help there. as we get older, much older, in the 80s and the 90s, actually maintaining weight is important. It turns out that losing weight in those ages actually makes you lose muscle mass as well, and you can become weaker. That is not a good thing. And so maintaining weight as opposed to losing weight is more appropriate for the older age groups.
And especially if we start thinking about losing weight, some of the strategies that we may have used as a younger person doesn't work any longer as a more mature person, correct?
Well, that is true. And in fact, you mentioned arthritis and exercise. That actually is very important. If you can exercise, if you can increase your calorie expenditures, that will help you maintain a healthy weight, help you lose weight. If you have arthritis, if you're short of breath, if you have other medical problems, it is much harder. And so the weight loss is slower, more difficult. You are correct.
We're talking to Dr. James Powers at the Vanderbilt School of Medicine. Dr. Powers, Tennesseans, historically, we're kind of on the bottom as far as the health of our older population. Are we still there?
Yes, unfortunately, it's not just Tennessee, it's this region of the country. We are the heart attack and stroke belt of the country. Certainly other populations in other parts of the country, other parts of the world suffer the same things, but it's more prevalent in this area of the country. Some of that is cultural, and it's a great public health effort to try to get out the word about exercising, losing weight, stopping smoking, and newly identified substance use disorder.
So what are the other areas of the United States? What are they doing that maybe Tennesseans should maybe focus on? Maybe one thing perhaps that...
Well, I think that's a very important question, and I might just talk about urban areas to start with.
Okay.
It turns out that age-friendly cities are being promoted now by the World Health Organization, and we're very proud that Nashville is considering getting there. There are a number of steps, there are a number of criteria. But cities and localities that promote healthy aging have the ability to access public transportation. They have easily available grocery stores with healthy foods. They avoid food deserts, if you will. They also make the ability to be involved in the community. Members of the community organizations make that available for their older citizens. And these all are elements that go into age-friendly cities. And the same can be true for all areas of the country. If an individual is active in their community, if they feel engaged, if they're contributing, they often live longer and live a lot healthier and happier life.
But of course, we know that a lot of the population in Tennessee is not in age, are in urban areas.
That's right.
So what advice would you give to older people, or maybe near older people, who are living in maybe more rural communities who don't have those opportunities?
Right. Well, I think all of us have the opportunity, certainly, to develop healthy lifestyles. So walking is a wonderful exercise. Limiting the amount of empty calories that one eats, lowering the fat content of your diet are all appropriate strategies no matter where you live. And in fact, we're learning a lot now. People often consult me about Alzheimer's disease, memory disorders. What is good for cardiovascular health truly is good for brain health as well. So an active lifestyle, maintaining a healthy weight, controlling blood pressure, diabetes if that is an issue, all goes to helping with memory and cognitive disorders as well.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing at Vanderbilt?
We have been focusing on building a healthy health promotion program. As a geriatrician, we have often focused on the sicker members of our society. That's understandable, but there's a lot that we can do to promote health in the community, and being able to be on programs such as this, being able to teach our trainees about health practices to maintain and promote health throughout the lifespan is a new focus for us. So we're very happy to be involved in this.
Any words of wisdom from how our grandparents may have aged versus how we're aging now? Any comments?
Yes, there is no question that we do inherit traits from our parents, from our grandparents. So observing your grandparents, how long they live, the conditions that they encounter, will say a lot about our own future. Now, we have access to much more health knowledge and healthcare resources than perhaps our grandparents did. So,
Sure.
Despite the fact that grandparents may have suffered some infirmities, knowing about the possibilities for our own future helps us to be in a better position, empowers us to make the choices to live longer and happier lives.
Oh, I love listening to you, Dr. Powers, but it's time for us to go to break again. And when we come back, we will have new guests with us, and we'll take a deeper dive into the community and see what's going on in Nashville.